Hello everyone, welcome back to Wayward Dice. I'm Kale, and tonight we're going to be continuing our Dragon Heist Session 5. We're starting our Dragon Heist Session 5, but continuing Dragon Heist as a whole. So yeah.
Alright, and then we're not going to do our normal character introduction because we're kind of at a transition point, which happened in our last episode. So I'm Nathan, I'll be dungeon mastering again. There'll be some switching up of the dungeon mastering roles soon. And I think, are we all good for Halloween night for like an hour?
Yeah, for sure.
Zach?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I think Halloween, that's coming up Wednesday, so Halloween night, we will be doing a special Halloween episode. We didn't stream last night because Kale and I were helping prep for that, so...
Indeed.
So I think Kale will actually, we've had a change of plans. Instead of me DMing, Kale's going to DM on Halloween for our special.
Voila!
And Zach is currently planning something in a different game system, a role-playing game, but the Coriolis system. He wants to do a short one-off adventure or series of adventures. So that's coming soon. So that's in the works. But for now, we are picking up with Dragon Heist, the current adventure. The new, what's it called? Dungeons of the Mad Mage, the Undermountain adventure is coming out in a couple weeks. You want to introduce yourself? I guess I've rambled.
Yep. I'm Zach. I'm playing 3 characters. He's playing 3 characters. He's Kale. This is Nathan.
Mr.
Yeah.
Nathan.
Mr. Nathan.
So, former and current students here. So, also, we are opening up some previous characters. So, some old characters of ours are going to be jumping in. We have a lot of characters in the Forgotten Realms, which is our setting. And so, we're going to be tying... A lot of them got to level 4 or 5, and we're going to be bringing them
I was
in.
actually going to say, I think you're wrong. We don't have a lot. We have an army. We literally, we have an army of characters just sitting back in the barracks.
Probably 30 or 40.
That's what I'm saying.
I have neglected my duty in slaying their characters. I'm trying really hard, though, so I won't be holding back. And speaking of not holding back, you may be familiar with the Tome of Beasts from a few years ago. It adds extra monsters to 5th edition D&D. And this month, they published a new one called Creature Codex. Look, there's a lich on the front, so I think tonight we'll actually pull some enemies from this bad boy. So
It'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this whole session is probably going to turn into some sort of cameo hour with our old characters. It's going to be fun, though.
Oh, yes.
I thought you were going to say Death Fest.
Oh,
That's
too.
actually what I thought he was going to say. I thought he was going to say Slaughterhouse.
No,
but,
that's why it's a cameo, not a, bring in of the old characters.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right, so we're
not...
not starting with the introduction of characters because when we last ended the party, I guess we could talk about who our party was in the last episode. Do a quick session recap if anybody hasn't seen the last episode. The party had been searching for a missing companion of Volo, the famous Volo of the Forgotten Realms, and they were hired to find his friend Floon, who'd been disappeared. And so they tracked all over the dock wards of Waterdeep and Metropolis, Port City, the biggest metropolis in the Forgotten Realms, which also sits over the biggest dungeon in the Forgotten Realms, which is our next adventure. And anyways, they went all over. They ended up in the sewers and saved him from an orc mage, but the orc mage actually fireballed and blasted to smithereens one of our characters, whose name I've already forgotten.
Zenari Keed.
Xanar.
Crafter for his tribe.
So a good example of what happened was basically he was put on an extremely hot grill and was made into grilled cheese if the ground was bread.
Oh, no, he was cremated at the scene.
Oh, okay. Cremated?
Effectively.
He wasn't, smoldered to the ground?
There was a little bit of, burnt body.
Oh, okay.
But most of it was cremated.
Oh, all right.
So the encounter, I think, was originally designed for a level 2 party of 4. And so I was thinking about... we were playing with 6 level 4
characters, yeah.
So I thought about having a small orc tribe down there, but instead I just upgraded the orc apprentice wizard to full orc mage and start off combat with a fireball, which the party members that saved all got knocked unconscious, and the party member that did not save was blasted to pieces. And so Xander died. The paladin actually had charged in, and she was able to cut him down, I think, in 2 rounds. So she actually saved the day and saved the party and saved Floon. So she was like the hero, literally.
In fact, she tried to jump in the way of the fireball to save the rest of the party, but tragically that didn't happen. And now no one knows that she tried to save everyone by doing that, but that's okay because that's not her personality.
I think to the party, it looks like she tried to jump out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. So instead of looking selfish, she looks instead of looking selfless, she looks extremely selfish. She's a shellfish.
So do you guys want to describe the reward from Volo real quick?
Yes.
So from Voldo, we were promised a lot of gold, things we could actually, use.
But we didn't get that gold.
Yeah, we didn't get anything. Don't trust Volo. Never trust Volo.
We did get something, though.
Well, we got a house.
We got a book that says Volo's Guide to Monsters. We're not allowed to look in, though.
It was kind of advertising. It was a signed copy, and he was like, oh, yeah, this is the greatest book ever written. He was really selling it.
And then it vanished into our DM's hands.
Yeah.
So instead, he gave us a building that says, hello, here's the building. You can do whatever you want with it, pretty much.
It was an old abandoned building.
Wagering house.
Yeah, an old abandoned wagering house with, 2, 3 stories?
Yeah.
At least 3. At least 3.
And it came with inhabitants, too.
Came with people. So,
Squatters.
Yeah. We're turning those squatters and zany characters into main characters.
Meat shields for our powerhouses.
How did we create them?
Yeah, it's like slave army.
We did make a bunch of randomly created characters.
So I think 2 of your characters, one of mine.
Yeah, 2 of my characters are random.
I don't know where the character sheets are. We got, I think, 12 total randomized characters, just made out of. I believe in the last episode we actually covered.
Made out of mush.
Yeah, made just.
My mush.
mush.
Now we do have. In fact, I have my first character ever.
Why don't you introduce your first character?
Yeah.
Ever? He has wandered into Waterdeep after roaming the Forgotten Realms.
All right, so my first character ever. He's a bard because I've been known to sing, to do whatever, to not stop talking, to
choir boy.
I was a choir boy, not to be confused with just a regular boy. So I sing and stuff, and I made a bard that sings and stuff. So I have my first character I've ever created on here. His name's Dordre Sharp. He's a bard of the School of something that I have here, right here. College of Lore. Yep.
Self-insert. Sorry.
Sorry, his ego kicked in.
Okay. And so, when was the last time you played Dordre?
I played him whenever I first played D&D ever. And then we cut off that campaign. He didn't ever die because I would have.
So has it been 1.5 to 2 years?
Oh, it's been since I started playing D&D is whenever I did that.
2 years. 2 years.
So let me find him real quick because I do have one thing to look up. But
and then you were also bringing in one of your old characters. You want to introduce him?
It's a Kinku warlock actually, named Satterless. Now usually
what's a Kinku?
A Kinku. That's exactly what I was going to get to. Kinku are kind of like that calcium creature right there, our good boy Windrumper. They're humanoid crow-like people. They don't have wings. That's their whole motivation is they don't have wings. They want to fly, but gods are saying no. So most of them, they can't talk, and they're very attracted to.
The stream feed?
And they're very attracted to.
Yeah, I have. Oh, here. Live. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Can they see it?
Yep. You're good.
And they're very attracted to shiny things, that kind of stuff. They can mimic any noise perfectly, but they can't actually converse with their own unique thoughts. They could actually mix and match speech from people that they've heard, kind of like Bumblebee from Transformers.
Yes, it's like Bumblebee.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So most of them tend to be rogues or on the more evil side, but Satterless, otherwise known as Panda, because the noises he mimics is panda noises. He's a warlock for the entire purpose of he wants to fly, and he also knows that being connected with the gods that he's made a pact with allows him to speak telepathically.
Oh, wait a second.
Dealing with that.
So basically,
His name is Sad Panda. Yes.
No. Well, I mean, of course, but no. I was going to say. So basically, his main goal is to basically be able to cast levitate anytime he wants to.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
His main goal is to use the power of his dark
patron.
Not patron. Well, yeah, but his what is the word? Like Lovecraftian gods.
Oh, okay. The old ones.
The old
Dark
ones.
Cthulhu.
Yeah. He's looking to use the power of the old ones to try and make his people fly. Magic or not, it's still flight.
Yeah, fair. Oh, just all Kinku.
Just all the Kinku.
All the Kinku. Den Kinku, Live
all
Kinku.
At once. It's going to be great.
Zombie Kinku.
It's going to be a Kink Cthulhu horror show.
They actually call it the Kink Rapture.
Part of me thinks, since it's kind of Cthulhu, part of me thinks that he would just instead basically plague your mind to think that you're watching a bunch of Kinku fly away in return for your services.
Alright, so let's pick up where we left off. It has now been 10 days since the last episode as far as game time is concerned, so all of your characters should be fully rested, full hit points, all your spells back, all that sort of thing. And in that time, you have spent some time cleaning up the place. Some of the squatters left. Most of them have elected to stay. Some new people have shown up, including Sador, Les, and also Diordre, and a couple others. And as we find our old character sheets and bring them in, there will be a rotating cast of people rolling through this place. However, there's also been visits from city officials and servants of the local guilds. Basically, in order to open for business, you'll have to join some of the guilds in town. You'll need to hire some people to make deliveries of food and drink and that sort of thing. If you're gonna be serving and functioning as an inn or whatever, so we'll need to sort all that out. Also, there's some structural damage. You've done some cleaning, but the actual repairs are going to cost some money, and the initial estimates were 1,000 to 2,000 gold for the basic repairs. Without totally refurnishing everything, just the essential repairs, a rough estimate, you got 1,000 to 2,000 gold. So that kind of gives you an initial estimate. Mm-hmm. So there'll be some building up of your adventuring hub. And this place used to be an old casino or wagering house. So there's gaming tables and that sort of thing, a place to serve drinks and eat food and for people to crash and sleep, and there's a basement and it's many stories. And the shingle outside has the old name of the place was called Wayward Dice, which is also the name of our stream channel.
Yeah.
And it's going to be our adventuring hub. So our adventuring hub is going to be the Wayward Dice location. There are a dozen, maybe 15 characters inside hanging out, kind of living, going on errands and that sort of thing, but basically essentially living out this gigantic former casino that's not currently open for business, but word on the street is out that there's adventurers kind of hanging out here. You guys just say Floon for Volo, and he flabs at the mouth and just kind of people word is getting out that there's some adventurers that saved him.
They're adventurers looking for adventurers.
Something tells me that having Volo on our side would be pretty helpful.
We could totally have a dating booth called Adventurers Meeting Adventurers, and it's just an area where you just go on expeditions with people.
Yeah, I don't want you flirting with my NPCs.
Yeah. $5 for an NPC kiss.
Can my NPC flirt with Zach's character?
So in the Dragon Heist adventure, there are rumors going around Waterdeep that there are thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of gold pieces, which in Waterdeep a gold piece is called a dragon, kind of like a dollar is called a buck. Mm-hmm. Gold pieces are called dragons, and so the Dragon Heist is people are looking for this dragon gold, and you guys had also in your search for Floon run across one of Floon's friends. His last name is Neverember. I can't remember. Do you remember his first name? It started with an R. Renar or something like that.
Renardo.
I think it's Renar Neverember.
I said Ronaldo, but
high five me.
At least you didn't go for a fist bump.
Yeah, I'm satisfied with how
that's
that went.
correct. It is Renar.
No, you're not doing it right. I'm going for a fist bump. You got to do this.
Oh, sure. I got it. Okay, Nathan.
Well, it's a good thing we haven't started this stream yet, or this would be awkward.
Yeah, you're right.
So Renar Neverember is the son of the former Open Lord of Waterdeep, the Lord Neverember, who has moved on to bigger and better things. Do we have some coming?
No. I was just laughing at what I saw. Sorry. Continue.
Okay.
We did have a common.
Yeah, you want to share since I can't see?
It was definitely just a 0_0. So continue.
Alright,
Yeah.
we've got Neverwinter is another coastal city further north, and his father is the lord up there now, and no longer a lord of Waterdeep. But he's here, and he has been getting hunted down by the Zentarim and the Xanathar's Thieves Guild, and they believe that he has this stone. I should move my bookmark. So they believe, the rumor has it, that the Stone of Golor is this magical item that can reveal the location of the dragon gold, the Hoard of Coins.
So basically, it's
so
a
everybody's
compass.
trying to get it from him, and when you guys ran across him, he's like, "Yeah, I think everybody thinks I have it. I haven't seen my father in like a decade. I don't know where it is, but they're still trying to like kidnap me and stuff." So anyways, you made friends with him because you actually rescued him. You remember the Kenku were in the warehouse?
Yeah.
He was the guy hiding in the closet. That was
I know who you're talking about.
Is there like a general idea of what the stone looks like by any chance?
I don't know if there's a picture. It says see Appendix A.
I
Yeah,
have a
I'll
question.
find a picture for you.
What are the chances that that Lakaelin actually just has like an amulet on her chest that's holding the Stone of Golor?
I'll put a number to it. 0%.
Oh, can I? If I roll a percentile down, get 100? Can I do
Holy
it?
cow!
Oh wow!
It's like a green disc with freaking eyeballs.
Oh, all right.
This
that's
is actually
pleasant.
stream
Watch your
worthy,
heckin'
so we'll
language.
show the.
Sure.
Yeah.
So would
You're
that
good. You're good. You can see. Yeah, you can go. Go ahead.
would that knowledge pertain to our actual PCs, or is that something that only we know?
No, you guys
outside?
have heard the name of it when he mentioned it. So once he told you that they were trying to get it from him, he said, "I don't have it," and it reveals the location of the Dragon Horde. He's like, "That's the rumor." And he's like, "The rumors are true. I just don't know where it is because I don't have it."
Okay.
So you guys didn't really confront him on that. He, I guess, could have been lying, but he insisted. You had just saved him.
Do we know where to start looking for this, other than like going to Neverember and saying, hey, how can we find your father?
Okay, well, these are all questions we should have asked him sooner when he was with you.
Yeah, that probably help.
But in any case, currently, you guys are all in the Wayward Dice, and suddenly the windows rattle as the roar of an explosion fills the alley outside. It's called the Troll Skull Alley.
Okay.
Charred bodies and anguished screams fly through the air. A thick cloud of acrid black smoke billows outward from the blast, which seems to have occurred right outside your door. And we have a picture of the gigantic explosion outside. It's across the street from where you are.
Oh, okay. I think this is a great chance to have our characters kind of be introduced informally, at least, just by kind of playing them and saying what their names are.
Yeah, the 6 guys were closest to the door, and that's who's going to be
relying
on each other.
See, I was thinking along the lines of, since they're trying to get kind of organized as a business, I feel like the main characters that got, that are signed, that they sign their name on the paper, that they have kind of, they've been sorting things, trying to get it all worked out.
Okay. Why don't you just run with your idea? What do you want to say?
Basically, Lakaelin and everyone else, they're not going to be really involved in this part at all, and that basically it was us 6 characters that have been lined up to go ahead and go out and head out. We were going to go adventure, and this happened.
Malther is a signature. He's not as interested in the actual administration. He's just there to be there.
Oh, Nathan? What were you going to
I thought you were wanting to introduce all the characters.
Yeah. That's
Or you just wanting to do the 6 you have out?
No, we can introduce the characters if you like.
Okay, well, he's mentioned Lakaelin. Lakaelin is a paladin. She's an Asimar, so she has the blood of an angel or a celestial inside of her, and her skin is green. So she's kind of an interesting character, but she veils herself so she doesn't get stopped in questions. So she.
Well, it's actually more for a different reason. But
what's the other reason?
that's unknown.
Okay. Also, Dondo Goldheart is a rogue, a dwarf rogue. There's a guy named Jurassy who's kind of like a gambler, so he's been setting up shop in the he's kind of anxious to start taking bets and making some extra coin. Juze, a kind of like Chinese-inspired Shu human ranger, who is a friend of Lakalan, the paladin I mentioned first. There's a pair of monks, Tanda Mainlay. She's a human from the lands of Thay and heavily tattooed. And also the other monk is Pico Ro, who is a hobgoblin who has taken a vow of poverty and silence and is trying to atone for his people's bloodthirsty ways. We also have a half-orc named Gutjax, and he has a traveling companion. Your middle one there?
Oh, Rue?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So then there's Rue, a half-orc rogue who is just aggressively good at her job.
Yeah. I randomly rolled stats. She got really high stats, and she's an assassin. And she's also friends with Gutjax, who's a half-orc fighter.
I'm taking her for the roleplay reasons, not the mechanical ones.
She got aggressively high stats.
I might have got 18s on her dex and strength. So we also have a human female wizard. She's a transmuter. She does alchemy, makes potions, and she set up shop upstairs with a little potion area there. She's brewing things, and her name is Lumayan Indelin. We also have a half-elf rogue. Her name is Melanie Denariel. She's kind of like a sailor, a resident sailor. We are in a port town. And if you guys, you want to introduce your remaining two... Well, you already introduced Satterless, so how about your remaining character, and then we'll let Kale go.
Malther's been a recurring character in the series so far, and personally, I think he's my new favorite. He's a human wizard with some good intentions.
All right. And I will be playing 3 characters. 2 of them are very, very close to Link, though. Lunza, Luckface, and then Prince Ottigan, who goes by Firetusk. Now Luckface and Firetusk were meant to be together.
We may not reveal their whole backstory.
Yes. Okay.
Well, shall we?
I think it's almost
You can
necessary.
do the details.
Just to kind of explain,
okay.
why they are
let's
the
go
way
for it
they
then.
are.
Go for it.
So basically, they were betrothed to be together, and instead of that, what did you say, Nathan? They were under an attack.
So he is a dwarven prince, Prince Ottigan. He's called Firetusk because his big red beard. He has tusks from a boar, kind of braided into his beard.
They're dwarves, by the way. So
yeah, this is a dwarf
sense.
pair. She was a dwarven princess, and they were supposed to get married. However, we won't reveal all the details, but they basically got separated. She kind of sacrificed herself to help him escape. She was enslaved and tortured for decades, and Prince Ottigan spent the better part of his young years trying to track her down. He's finally found her a century later, and she's a broken, tortured husk of a shell. She doesn't remember her past life. She's just kind of this crippled, when you get tortured and disfigured. She's a disfigured, kind of raging, she's nothing like her former self. He still remembers her as she was. And so they're together.
It's true love is what it is.
On her stats, when I rolled her hit points, barbarians get a dice 12. I rolled a 12 and a 12 and a 12 on her first 3 rolls. So she has double the hit points of everybody else. So she
has insanely high stats.
And she's taking the path of the Battle Rager, which is a dwarven barbarian path. So that'll be fun to kind of try out with her. So those are your 2 guys there. Oh, and Prince Ottigan is a cleric.
Yes. And then, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, I'll also be playing my first character ever, Dordre Sharp, who, he's just fun, loud, talks a lot, sings a lot.
Obnoxious.
He is the perfect example of a bard who tries to be funny. That's what he is. So, I think that pretty much...
But he's a bad
sums up the
gesture.
characters, correct, Nathan?
Gesture.
I believe so.
Alright, so I guess back to the scene of what you were saying happened.
So there's an explosion outside. It's
Alright.
It's blown out a couple of the ground floor windows, cracked most of them, so they're all going to need to be replaced, adding to the expenses.
Lakalan. Oh boy.
What is it now?
Writes it down on the paper.
So why don't you guys select 3 characters apiece that kind of rush outside, while the other ones are kind of picking up the furniture and stuff, because there's just been a massive explosion.
Oh, I think we have our decisions made, Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we...
Malther and Satterless, as they're both more magically inclined, were happening to just kind of be talking to each other when it happened towards one of those windows. So when it got blown in, they were kind of upset and both rushed out to go fight. And Rue is always looking for something to slaughter.
Dordre has his rapier on his side, and he runs out, but he starts to pull out his loot to be inspiring to people, in case they're sad or got melt into the walls. And then the other two characters, I think that that Fire Tusk and Luckface were probably like just kind of sitting there like just staring at each other in silence, and they heard this explosion, and then Ottigan got up and Luckface followed him.
Okay. All right. So so where are they? So they're just all heading outside then.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
What could possibly go wrong?
man. All right. So there is the residual of an explosion in an urban area.
Okay.
What's up?
Tea.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. It's hot.
That's really hot.
That's why. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Nathan.
So in the aftermath of the explosion, there are some small fires, which are people like hitting with like brooms and like capes and stuff, trying to put out, stamping out like the remaining things that have caught fire. People are kind of coming out, like you guys are just exiting your building.
Mm-hmm.
People are exiting the local shops and houses to kind of see what's happening, and none of the buildings are on fire, but there's like wounded people.
Yeah.
And there is also nearly a dozen bodies lying unmoving at the center area of the explosion.
Wow.
We're in a metropolis, so there's lots of people. It wasn't like early morning; it was kind of like mid morning. So there's lots of people out running errands and just about their way and that sort of thing. But,
Okay.
If you want,
I was gonna say I think Dordre is gonna run up and start checking on people.
okay. So he's checking on people. That's Dordre. How about the dwarves just kind of watching from the porch?
Let me see here. I mean, Ottigan's good. I would say he's gonna kind of walk up, but I don't think he's gonna like run. I mean, Dordre is like full on like running to go and try and help someone. But I think Ottigan and I think Luckface is just kind of mindlessly like looking around, not really paying attention.
She's kind of like staring.
Yeah, like she see, kind of just like a bystander.
Okay. And Prince Ottigan, his background is he is a dwarf prince, but he also is a cleric by trade, so he does have healing skills.
Yeah.
And prayers.
Oh yeah, I think he's gonna walk slowly up to it, kind of like the police officer in a scene, if that makes any sense. While Dordre is being like the iconic,
Okay.
Oh no.
All right, and then how about your characters?
Mouther's looking around the crowd, trying to assist in any way he can, but he's not like towards the epicenter of it.
You could do. You could fight the fire with the fire.
That sounds like
fire bolts into the thing.
awful idea. I think he might have. He has Ray of Frost. You can just,
There's not actually like a raging fire. They're just like bits of smoldering things that people are stamping out or putting out. So
I gotcha.
within a minute or two, all the open flames will be. It'll just be like embers
that makes
glowing.
sense.
So that's already underway.
Mm-hmm.
What are your characters doing though? Mouther.
Mouther's he's kind of like helping out people, like getting back them on their feet, that kind of thing. Rue is just somewhere in the crowd, blending in. Nobody's gonna.
From the side.
Yeah, nobody really is gonna notice her.
Uh-huh.
And then Satterless is just kind of standing.
By Luckface.
Kind of by Luckface, yeah.
All right,
just
on the
kind of by
porch.
standing.
Okay.
All right, so let's just say Dordre kind of like just rushes into the scene, and there's just bodies everywhere. People with injuries, they're kind of like wrapping them, or there are quite a few like relatives and things. So people taking care of people. The people that are down on the ground that you check, you can tell some of them are obviously like kind of broken and misshapen. And so there's an elderly female human.
Mm-hmm.
There's two male humans. They have cloaks on and leather armor with sheathed longswords.
Mm-hmm.
There's so definitely like armed men in cloaks. There's two female humans.
Okay.
Kind of blasted next to and on top of a half elf male. Okay, and there's also a male gnome who in his dead hands has like a dagger clenched in like a death grip, and he's also got a cloak on. The gnome, he's dead. I mean, his face is like half blown off.
Yeah.
There's also two pairs of halflings, two females who are dead. They've been blasted into a wall from the concussion.
Oh wow!
And their flute and fiddle, they had been playing the music. You kind of been used to hearing it every morning and evening. Their flutes and fiddles were broken, and the females are dead. And also, they had boyfriends who used to dance for them while they played, and they're all dead. All 4 halflings are done. They had lived across the street, and they were outside doing their morning routine.
George Ray has definitely played with them before.
But yeah, I'm
like
sure.
he's gone and like sat down and they've played songs together.
You're welcome to assign names to them if you want, but they won't matter anymore because they're dead. The memory will live on, though.
So, did you say 2 guys, 2 girls?
Yeah, the musicians were female and the dancers were male.
Okay.
So Satterless has like crazy good sight because of his warlock abilities. Could he's gonna like notice the gnome with the dagger, and he's gonna like kind of trail and try to figure out where it's pointing, see if it's leading to any sort of.
He's kind of like in like a death like pose from like how he died. So he's kind of like gripped it in like a fetal position sort of thing. So it's not like he was pointing it just sort of.
Oh, I thought it was like this, like he's trying to protect himself.
No. I think George Ray notices them and he says, "Finn, Felicia, Fusa, and Forban," and he tears up. And I think he starts playing like a sad song.
Okay.
Just
So,
like kind of just like solemn, you know, like just kind of da da da.
So it's a sad song.
This is a sad song for sad people.
And then I think he tries to like ad lib like their names into it, like, "Oh, Fan and Felicia too, but a boy, boo."
All right.
You know, like
so the
like
first
weird
scene
minery
after a
sad
year's
song.
hiatus with Dordre, you got inspiration.
All right.
Great job. Welcome back.
And I think while he's doing that though, he'll occasionally cast like healing word. He has 4 slots. I'm pretty sure after a full year he's recovered the 2 use slots that he's used. So he's going to like play music and kind of like healing word people that he sees that are hurt but they're not dead. But I think he's gonna sit down where they would be and kind of like get kind of like sit down like as if they were all playing together again.
All right, and then once we have like just give yourself 100 experience as well. Just put plus 100. We generally play with milestone experience, so I think we'll probably continue that.
Oh, Nathan, it looks like I was about 50 experience points away from level 6.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
And you can have a bonus level, so just make him level 7 and just break everything.
Perfect. I appreciate it.
All right, and then you die and get resurrected. You're reincarnated as a garden gnome, and now you're level 4.
Oh, then as the gardener, I turned into a half elf and I'm Dordre again. What? This is.
I think episode 5 is over.
All right, thanks for joining us. That was great.
Okay, so Dordre has seen these guys and girls dead. He's tending to the wounds, and you mentioned that Sad was. How do you refer to? He's got like 4 names.
Yeah.
Sad or less.
He's sad or less,
Okay.
Panda, or insert random panda noises. It's your
Okay,
choice.
I'm gonna call him Sad or less then,
All right.
or Sad Panda.
His full name is actually like a whole paragraph because that's what Kenku, they take. Like,
I don't
quotes.
speak Kenku though. We'll just go with Sad or less.
So he's sad or less. That's what they shortened to.
So he noticed the gnome clutching the dagger in like a death grip.
Overlooking just everything he can see.
Okay. He could see in the distance that already the city guard is a couple blocks away, and they're working their way through because all these people are kind of like gathering. It's delaying them. They would have probably been here in a minute, but they'll probably be 2 or 3 minutes. So if you want to check anything out on the scene before the city guard gets here or the watch, now's the time to do it. So since Deordre's already kind of like doing things, how about the dwarves or the remaining characters?
Hold on. Is anybody like noticeably dying but not dead yet?
No, I think most of it was a flash explosion. So there's people kind of like have like some burns and like maybe like some broken bones. So, but they're already like having like attention. There might be a couple people that might still need attention, which Dordre is seeing too.
Okay.
But almost all the injuries were in the immediate vicinity of the fireball explosion. They were just instantly killed. Kind of like boy, this is how we ended the last episode.
I think in the Wayward Dice, someone's gonna like just kind of sit there with like a cigarette in their mouth and be like, something ain't right. That's all they say.
Maybe it's a pipe.
Blood has been spilled in this town, in this place.
Okay.
What is the famous dare I say it name?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Voice line.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Blood has been spilled here. Never mind.
Blood has been spilled here.
Yeah.
Well, mostly fire.
Never mind. Right. It was okay. Sorry. Yes, it was a medieval movie reference.
Yeah, I was trying to think of which one it was. I've seen a lot of those.
And you've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Yes. I've never seen it, but yet I'm making a reference toward it.
No, you're not.
Yes. Yes, I was.
All right. Anyway, so let's move on to a less awkward form
and he's
of
all
conversation.
like this and that. He's an elf.
So are your characters doing anything, or we're just gonna wait for the watch to show up?
Like I said, Dordre, he's healing. I think that Ottigan, since he's kind of like approached the scene, I think he's gonna just like try and figure out where the fireball came from. I think he's gonna try and like look around and see if like it looked like it just fell from the sky, if it came from a direction, like I think he's gonna like look at the epicenter of the explosion and try to figure out where it could have come from.
All right, give me an investigation roll.
Okay. 14. Yeah, 14.
Okay. It looked like it came from ground level.
Ground level.
Mm-hmm. And
is there a nearby like alleyway?
There's lots of alleyways.
Yeah.
This is technically Troll Skull Alley itself. This is a large. It's called an alley. This is definitely like a street, but the roads are more narrow than the broad paths of like the main. This is not a main thoroughfare. There's several like small side streets that connect it to the other main roads. So this road is technically called an alley as well. And there's alleys coming off of it between some of the houses.
That makes sense, yeah. So you said that looks like it came from ground level. Do we see any kind of people that look like they're suspicious at all?
Yes. So with your investigation, you see that those the two males with cloaks and swords have the winged snake tattoos, one on the neck and one on the forearm of the Zentarum.
Is it safe to assume that in the Wayward Dice they might have like put up a poster that would like be like there was this okay. Well, basically, I'm asking, like, since these characters... I guess Malthor might notice it.
You're all adventurers.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Uh-huh.
Most of the party has already seen the symbol blazoned across the warehouse, so you're already familiar with it. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty well-known, like, symbol.
They're one of those secret societies, so naturally everybody knows
like, are you
about it
guys
kind of
aware
thing.
that communism has, like, the sickle and the hammer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are symbols of communism.
Okay,
and like for like Islam, there's like a moon, and like so there's symbols that represent things. The swastika for the Nazi Party. Okay. So the Zentarum symbol is that kind of like famous. So it's pretty obvious to your characters, especially since you've had recent encounters with them.
I think Ottigan is gonna kind of like a cleric is gonna try and be stealthy, but I think he's gonna try and basically like walk through the crowd and make it seem like he's not being. You know what? He's pretty courageous. I think he's just gonna try and approach them. He's gonna like walk up to them and talk to them.
Approach whom?
The two cloaked figures that you were talking about.
Okay. Earlier I was describing them amongst the dead. Remember, 11 people died.
Oh wow. He's gonna go.
They don't speak back.
Is there a way that I can make up for what I said? Nope, definitely not. I'm gonna walk over.
So you try to like prod them, like, "Hey, get up!" And they're just like, they're definitely dead. They're not mostly dead. They're all dead.
It's actually just a skeleton in a cloak.
You can search for their pockets for loose change.
I definitely would not do that as a neutral good paladin.
Hopefully there's some Princess Bride fans in the audience. But he's a cleric.
Sorry, cleric, yes. I've also never played cleric.
Also, one thing he also noticed, that near them is the dead gnome. He's got the dagger in the hand. And the boots of the gnome in particular are very dirty. They have like a lot of like waste and sludge. From somebody who'd been in the sewers. Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's gonna look at the boots and like I think he's gonna like kind of pull the boots off of his feet.
The boots are covered with sewage, and you're a prince.
I think he's gonna point. He wouldn't make Luckface do it either. I think he says,
has
anyone seen this here?
Gnome.
Has anyone seen this gnome?
I like this here gnome better.
This here gnome. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
This here gnome, I'm a prince, but
I'm a prince.
I am the Prince of Bel Air.
He's not a privileged black guy. He's a dwarf.
I mean, fair, yeah.
What is the difference?
Let us.
All right, so let's go ahead and play the game. So
that's what I'm trying to do, but
all right. So what are you guys doing? Tell me, like, pick a character. Tell me what they do.
Yes.
So Rue's gonna go and look at them there. Darn here,
Please stop.
gnome.
Please stop.
Boots.
Thank you.
Okay. She immediately notices that the gnome also has a coin purse that appears to have stuff in it.
Oh, she's taking that. She's
All right.
chaotic evil.
It's got 5 gemstones in it,
Nice.
and they are all super valuable.
Are any of
Like
them
100
that
apiece.
are any of them that I have Golor?
That is a stone. These are gems.
Gemstone.
Ah,
These are
I
like
like it.
semi-precious gemstones.
argue
So,
with the DM just to get what
topaz,
we want.
moonstone, opals, those kind of things.
And how much was it? 100 each piece?
Yeah, so like
Wow.
so 500 total. The dagger is like low quality. Her daggers are sharper than these, so I mean she could pry it out of his cold dead hand. Actually, his hands are even dead yet, but he's like kind of like in a vice. Get
Yeah.
that grip.
Now, she's honorable. She's not going to take another man's dagger.
Yeah.
She has all
is
the
kinda-
appearances of honor. Got
Yeah.
it.
Unlike
Yeah, she's a
somebody,
tiefling,
she's
right?
a dagger
Isn't
collector.
she a tiefling?
She's
She's
a
a half-orc.
She's a half orc.
I feel like you missed the
For
introduction.
whatever. No. I knew
And the
no.
description of the dead.
No. Whenever I thought of her name as Rue, I always thought of like a tiefling for whatever reason.
She's a half
welcome
orc.
to, welcome
There's
to
definitely a difference.
Gutjax is also half orc. We did to be fair make like 14 random gen characters, so that it is kind of hard to keep them all straight.
So, welcome to the Wayward Dice. Now joining us is Kale. He's catching up.
Yeah. I just not good on watching up to this point in the stream. It's ironic though that I could go faster than what the stream was going and catch up. But
Since you've been late
yeah.
to our committee meeting, the two of us passed a motion where you're now the host of the stream. So why don't you take over?
oh wow. All right.
I
hello.
reserve the right to Dungeon Master.
Sure.
tonight.
Sure.
I reserve the right to sit in the middle and be the talent.
I reserve the right to just play the game because I
Alright.
want to. Let us
Okay.
continue. So, what do you do to the gnome? You said that you took his thing. I'm just checking.
Oh,
you took his his coin purse. but
Rue's
not the
checking
dagger?
everything. She's gonna like.
Does she care if people see her take it?
I mean, she's like really sneaky about it. She
Okay,
like,
give me
cuts it and-
give me a sleight of hand. 15 or higher, no one notices really.
which one's sleight of hand
It's
here? There it is.
Political.
Yeah, natural 20 plus
Nat
6.
20. All right.
Yeah, she's
You take a rock and just put a rock in the plate.
Yeah.
she actually like manages to take it so silently that people think it's still there.
Yeah. No one noticed. It was so smooth.
Nice.
So Rue makes an appearance in Wayward Dice, and as her first act, she gets a nat 20 on stealing coins
Yeah,
or
she's
gems.
good. She's gonna be very nice.
Let's just hope she doesn't meet the fate that Sylvaster did.
No, Sylvaster can.
Somehow I
He
doubt it.
also had insane stats, though. That's
Yes.
why I point him out.
Okay.
But oh yeah, she's gonna look at like the scorch marks of this fireball and
Mhm.
kind of figure out which direction it came from, like kind of like triangulate.
She can hear people kind of like talking about like, oh, I saw this, or like, ooh, and like there was quite a few witnesses because 11 people died in the immediate vicinity, so there was the people who didn't die. So there's probably a couple hundred people now starting to gather around, and you can see the city watch is about 1 minute away. There, you can kind of already hear their call out, move out of the way, let us through, city watch business, make way, like those kind of shouts,
gonna
and they'll
lift
be
her
here
hood,
soon.
Just because
I'm assuming it's already up. Yeah. That's their style.
But so she is going to like try and still triangulate that there, here gnome. No, the scorch marks to figure out which direction it came from, if she can.
Okay.
I don't know if that's like.
She'd be a detective.
Yeah, I feel like if it hit like
That's all you have to say.
one side of the
Sorry,
street opposite of where it came from, it would be a lot more blasted that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Just because like momentum.
I think. So Dordre's been kind of just sitting here playing, solemn, sad music that kind of like makes you like hate the world you live in, makes you want to cry.
Mouther is pleased.
I think that Dordre, I think he stands up, and I think he walks over toward the guards, and he realizes that the people are here they're basically like trying to figure out what happened, and that the guard's gonna interrupt this. I think he begins to approach. How many city guardmen did you
Probably
say?
close to 24.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I think he's gonna walk up there and try to get them to stay longer. Is there one that seems like a leader, by chance? Like one that's in charge.
Like when the city watch shows up.
Well, this is before they show up. This is kind of while they're walking through the crowd. Can you see, like, basically...
Yeah, there's like an officer leading him.
Okay, sure. Give me 1 second.
And you guys, I mean, there's city watch everywhere, so you guys can tell the regular watchmen from, like, the officers. There's usually, like, a sergeant that leads a small group. In fact, let's just say there's probably not 24 people ready. Let's just say there's, like, half a dozen guards heading their way. With an officer leading them. That's probably like a normal size watch, but
Like a patrol.
but since there has been a big explosion, you guys know that there will probably be several dozen people showing up, like a crime scene investigation sort of thing. So we'll say let's just change that to half a dozen watch officers and a sergeant, like kind of like leading them.
Okay. I think George sees the sergeant, and I think he tries to move toward him and get within 30 feet.
You think, or he
that
does?
doable? He does. He tries to get within 30 feet of the sergeant.
Why is that?
Because he's gonna cast Charm Person.
Yes, because casting a spell on the city guard is a wonderful idea.
Actually, according to this, it does not say. Yeah, so they actually don't know that I did it unless they
Right.
Yeah, they only know if they fail it, and then afterward, then they know.
In our previous episode, I had mentioned, or maybe it was 2 episodes ago, I mentioned the code legal. It might have been 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay.
We
never went over this at all.
Yeah. Basically, if you cast spells against the city watch, your character might receive the death penalty. So you may just glance through this.
Yeah.
Because this isn't like in a dungeon. You're in the largest metropolis with the best police force in the entire
For all you know, that captain could be a dragon
All
in
right.
a human body.
Crimes against lords, officials, and nobles. Assaulting or impersonating a lord. Death. Assaulting or impersonating an officer or a noble. Flogging, imprisonment up to 10 days, and a fine up to 500 gold. Blackmailing an official. Flogging and exile up to 10 years. Bribery or attempted bribery of an official. Exile up to 20 years and fine to double the bribe amount. Murder of a lord, official, or noble.
Right.
Death. Hang on. Using magic to influence a lord. Using magic to influence an official without consent. Fine or damages up to 1,000 gold pieces and edict.
You had me at flogging.
So...
How fun must this be for our viewers? We're studying for the fantasy constitution test.
I believe that I'm going to walk up, think about literally the exact code. I think he looks over to the left, and I think he sees, this poster... And it's that exact thing, and I think it said...
Code legal just posted in a window of a local lawyer.
Yeah, I think he looks over and sees that, and he's like, 1,000 gold pieces? And he looks over, and I think instead, he
Now, could Satterless... Hold on, I'm sorry to interrupt you. But could Satterless be, watching all this, and as he kind of, reads the code legal, Satterless just kind of, mentally goes, don't do it.
You know what he's going to do?
But in a bird voice.
But in a bird voice.
Hang on. You know what he's going to do?
In a bird voice.
He's going to trip the guard guy and then cast gaseous form on himself so we can get out of there. I think he's going to trip the sergeant. So just to, make them stumble, literally, more. And I think he's going to cast gaseous form on himself so they don't, see him or know that he did it.
Why? Did what?
He's trying to basically stall the guard, so I think he's going to trip the sergeant guy and then cast gaseous form so they can't catch him.
Why is he trying to stall the
guards? He's
guards?
going to trip the... Why?
He's trying to stall them so you guys have more time to investigate.
He's going to assault an officer.
Well, they will know that it's him because he'll turn into gas. And
they'll have seen him before he turns to gas. There's 7 of them.
Is there some logical way where I can do this and be stealthy about it? Is there a large crowd of people? I was thinking there's a large crowd.
There's 200 people.
Yeah, you're just randomly assaulting a guard and you're worried about the logic here.
Well, no. What I'm saying is there's a big crowd of 200 people. So I can just kind of blend into the crowd, and then he just falls over, and then I'm just gassed. So they just start talking to citizens around to be who did this to him?
So if there was a bombing here in town, and there was a crowd of people around, and the police came through, you would go up to them and try and knock an officer headed towards an explosion that just went off, and then disappear into the crowd.
I don't know.
I think Rue's the only one that could conceivably.
Rue's the only one
unless
that
you're
has
a wizard,
reason to do
so
that.
Unless you're a wizard that had invisibility cast, but even the act of tripping them would make you pop up and be visible again. So I think what you're asking is pretty well impossible. I think you're just asking for your character to be basically charged with 11 murders.
Okay.
It's 11 people died. As soon as we show up, you attack us. You're getting stuck with 11 murders. You're gonna be beheaded.
I think Dordre.
What's his intelligence?
He reads the law thing. That's 10. I mean, he reads the law thing.
That's conceivable, I guess.
Okay. So he reads.
So yeah, Satterless is just going, don't do it. It's like,
Squawk,
don't do it.
He looks over, and then he hears this bird voice in the back of his head that says,
Squawk, don't do it.
And I think he's like, whoa, what am I doing? I think he pulls out his lute and then just starts playing and tries to get the guards' attention.
You may not be able to tell because of the positioning of the mic, but I did actually turn the bird around. So if we're ready to kill off our first
oh, wow,
life form.
I couldn't tell. You're right.
I'm just... It's ready for blood, so
yeah,
is Diordre going to be the first sacrifice?
Squawk, don't do it.
Yes, I definitely...
Don't kill us.
As soon as I hear that, it kind of startles me.
Right. The sergeant that places his hand on Diordre's chest is like, out of the way. This is your chance to sell him. What do you say?
I have a question to ask you. I'm a reporter with the Waterdeep Press, and I would like to ask you, what is your opinion on the explosion today?
And he kind of like, and he like glances over, and like from the side you get like brained by the baton of like one of the.
Can I dodge it?
Give me a dex, acrobatics, dex save. Just do a dex save.
Dex save. Okay.
13.
16.
All right. So we'll say it's a glancing blow, and so you like duck it, so you're not immediately knocked unconscious.
Okay.
And
ow.
They're like, out of the way, make way, and like you kind of like getting shoved to the side.
Yes, sir. Don't swing on me again. And I like kind of like nod, and then I tip my hat that I don't have, and I like just
you can have a hat, like a hat with a feather. Or something?
No, I definitely don't have a hat. I left it down by the people that I danced.
Don't you have minor illusion?
No, I do. I minor illusion a candle floating in the air to confuse the guards.
No, you minor illusion a hat, and then you tip it.
Why would I do that?
And then you, because
I'm sad and depressed.
For style points.
Style points.
Yeah, style
points. I'm trying to figure out why are you trying to stall the guards?
So we have a longer time to investigate before they kick us out.
Oh, you had time to investigate. What else were you trying to find out?
Can I use this extra time to investigate to figure out anything?
Yeah, what are you trying to figure
out? Which direction it came from.
We'll say from, if it came from a direction, probably the directions the guards are coming from, which would be from the west or so.
I think Odigan's going to look around, and is there anyone that's like, I think he's going to look through the buildings, since the buildings are kind of high up, correct? Like there are some tallish buildings.
2, 3,
I think he's going to look up and down and see, I know that he thinks that the fireball came from ground level, but does he see any kind of like suspicious like looking figures like through the windows or on the roofs or something like that?
Roof boys.
Like does he see like someone be like running across the roofs like a ninja?
I believe this is not Assassin's Creed 3.
Hey, it could be. It's definitely 5th edition.
This isn't Unity or Rogue.
All right, what was your question succinctly?
Okay, so Prince Odigan, Firetusk, is looking up in the air toward the buildings and around the buildings.
Give me a perception
to see if
check.
he sees anything moving around. Okay. Hey. 13.
Okay. Yeah, I think he sees people in the windows on like second and third stories, kind of like just hanging out, like looking, but he doesn't see anybody like jumping from the rooftops, like trying to flee.
Okay. Sure.
If there was an attack from the rooftops, it's been long enough. They probably might have escaped by now, unless they're just loitering around to make an attack. You're not seeing anybody ready to like launch their fireball. If that's what you're asking.
So it looks like this is honestly more of just like a random attack compared to a like a plotted out like specific target on someone.
As far as we can tell so far.
Yeah.
Well, you can't tell much more detail from looking. Essentially, basically the guard has arrived now. There's a half a dozen guys and the sergeant. They're starting like they've got their clubs and sticks and like quarter staves. They have swords, but they're like
hitting people. Like
no, they're just pushing people back and kind of like getting people away from the crime scene. And the sergeant's going through and checking to see if everyone's alive or dead and that sort of thing. And he's asking the injured to kind of like go off to the side and assemble off onto the side on a porch.
We should have had Malther like hit someone with a firebolt.
Why?
So then it looks like that they're one, like one of our people, So then they look like they're injured, and then they can be like, "What happened here?" And then the guards would feel like, like they needed to tell what happened.
This makes no sense.
I get the concept you're trying to do, but like I feel
I'm ready for a dungeon where you can just kill everything.
Yeah, of course you are.
Well, I mean in both directions. So
yeah, Rue is gonna start heading west, like us on the side of the crowd, so she doesn't.
There's also kind of like a black smoke stream, kind of like being caught by the winds, and it's attracted one of the Griffin Rider. There's a cavalry, the Griffin riding cavalry, and so one of the patrollers has actually swooped down low, and there's like a griffin like with a rider on it, kind of like swoops over the shadow, like kind of goes through, and he's kind of like looking intently down at the scene of the explosion, because the smoke has drawn him in. So there's now also a airborne
Hint.
this is like an actual like a knight on well, he's mounted, a mounted knight, a winged knight.
So yeah, Rue is definitely gonna like not really run in that direction, but she's definitely start rushing to kind of figure out what's going on, and she looks at the rest of the Wayward Dice crew as they're kind of standing about, and she makes a little circle with her hand and says, let's go.
She does the gather up and leave
Yeah, that.
thing. Yeah, okay, I gotcha. On me.
All right.
Yeet.
I definitely know that Luckface looks at her, and she's probably like slightly drooling as she sees you do that, and then like I think she kind of just like waves her finger, and she doesn't really say anything. She just kind of.
Does anybody want to interview any of the eyewitnesses, or what's the plan?
Ooh, yeah, that actually sounds like a really good idea. I think Dordre, being the people person that he is, I think he's gonna walk up and see someone who looks hurt, and I think he's gonna say to them, I guess first, who does look hurt, and not dead, of course.
Okay, so we'll say he talks to quite a few people.
Okay.
One of the let's see. There is a nearby shop. We kind of skipped a lot of the content from chapter 2, but there is a nearby shop called. Let's see.
You can just make up a name for it.
No, I have a name for it. This is across the street from you. So this is the shop next door to where the fireball went off.
Oh, man, just because of our business, their business is probably
we actually have a map. Like, here's your guys' thing, and the explosion was right here.
Okay, yeah, I gotcha.
And her shop is right here.
Okay.
Her name is Fala, and she is an herbalist.
They're going to be important to the plot.
Okay, what does she say? Nathan?
Well, I was trying to get the gender out of this. Fala Lefalier is an outgoing wood elf with long braided hair. Like the elven god Coralon Larathian, Fala is neither male nor female.
Oh.
Since you refer to her... okay, so
Since I refer to Fala, it is Fala.
They identify as they. Alright, anyways.
Alright, so Fala...
I didn't remember that detail.
I think Dordre, being the very, very ethical person that he is, I think he walks up and says, "Hello, Fala. How are you feeling, and do you know what happened here?"
Well, I was watering plants in the greenhouse on the second floor of my shop.
Mm-hmm.
Then the blast blew out some of the windows, and luckily I wasn't injured from the shards.
Mm-hmm.
I looked out through the smoke, and I saw a cloaked man take something from the body of that dead gnome over there, the one with the dagger. And then that guy started limping away over there, and he pointed the direction the guards had come from. He was badly burned, and he kept looking over his shoulder and casting glances about, really nervous, like he was afraid he's being followed. He was headed towards the Bent Nail. Now, the Bent Nail is one of the other businesses, and I'll just kind of...
Yeah, I gotcha.
I think it was like a smithy.
Of what race did Fala say this character was again?
The Bent Nail sells bows and crossbows.
Of what race did Fala say? Of what race?
Like a man.
So
it appeared to be a human. Almost everyone is human, unless I kind of indicate otherwise.
Okay, sure. I believe that Dordre is going to say, would you feel comfortable walking with us up there so you could point out who they are?
Oh, no. I have to clean my shop. All my windows are busted out, and I have plants that need tending. There's lots of broken herbs.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to put me back. And
I think Dordre says, thank you for your time. And hands her a gold piece.
She's like, no, it's okay. And then she kind of goes back to sweeping. She got, they have a broom.
Does she have an apron on?
No, some sort of flowing elven style clothing.
Oh no, I mean I was just asking. We're basically where somebody could just go and just slip his gold piece.
No,
her.
but it's a business across the street from you, so you could always go.
I guess you're right.
I mean,
I could just go and shop. Then I'm gonna say, as she like kind of walks away, thank you again, and then I think since he's gotten sufficient evidence or knowledge, I believe that he's going to start making his way over there without telling anyone.
And when you refer to they as her,
I didn't mean
they
to say
remind
her.
you
I apologize.
Yeah.
Fala.
Yes. So there's some minor elven correction.
Yeah.
All right. One of the other you talked to a couple other people that had like they were kind of arguing over what they did and didn't see that the fireball was blue, and one said no, it was clearly red, and one said no, it was white, and so they can't really agree on whether the fireball was red, white, or blue. So, anyways, it's kind of a useless conversation. There was a kind of like a noble person. She's like a noblewoman. She says her name is Jezrin, and she says, "I tell you, it was not a man. More like a puppet shaped like a man. A puppet without strings, though. It was on the rooftops. I know it. It hurled something into the crowd, and whatever it landed, it made the explosion. I saw those halflings burned alive." And she kind of like holds up like a handkerchief like to her eyes. She's like, "I saw them." And then, like, she like looks over where they're at, and she just can't take it, and she goes back like almost like to hysterics.
Dordre says, "I too knew Finn, Felicia, Fusa, and Forbon, and I can't understand them.
You knew their names!" And she's like still like weepy.
I think she kind of like she pulls out a handkerchief. I think he pulls out a handkerchief and hands it to her, and he says, "Here."
Mouther at that moment like kind of walks by and like slaps him on the back like, "Come on, we got to go find this guy."
And she had actually pointed towards one of the rooftops when she was talking about that she had seen something thrown that made the explosion. So there's currently you glancing.
Yeah.
There's definitely nothing in the rooftop there. It's just like a slate roof.
Mm-hmm. How high is this roof? 3
stories.
Okay. So theoretically, can we access the ceiling from the Wayward Dice? Like it does a staircase.
There's a turret, like a tower on one corner.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
And it goes up, and it actually projects up above the actual slope part of the roof, so you could go out one of the windows, I guess, onto the roof. But it's wintertime, and it's like pretty icy. So I mean, you could try. You might fall 3 stories down.
I think Dordre, as he walks by the Wayward Dice, I think he just kind of like says in there. I think he says, "Hey guys, check the rooftops, please." Before he does that, he is going to continue trying to console this lady.
Okay.
And
he can see off to the side. There's a boy kind of fishing around inside like a barrel full of like rainwater, and which is kind of like had like an icy crust over it, but it's been broken through, and he's like fishing around, and he like sees you like looking at him, and he's like,
I think Dordre is just kind of look at him and laugh. And you said this boy, he looks homeless.
No, just like a little just a boy.
Oh, so just like a young child.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Maybe
he's
like
just
12 or 13, maybe.
I think he's going to. I think he's going to like.
And he pulls out a necklace with like little like pearls or beads on it, or like large beads on it.
Is there a door behind the kid?
No, there's like a wall.
Oh.
I mean, there's a door maybe like 10 or 20 feet away to the
cool,
next
I can
building.
corner a young child. I'm gonna approach him.
And he's like, right after the explosion, I died behind the barrel. And he's like calling it. Then I heard a plop, and I found this in the barrel. I heard it plop.
If you could give it to me.
And he's like, he just gives it over to you.
And
he's like, I didn't do it. I
think he says, "Are you? Where do you live, boy?"
And he kind of like points and gives some directions just down the street.
Do you have a home?
Yeah.
Oh,
this was his mother and father.
Thank you for this, and I think he gives him 2 gold pieces.
Okay, so subtract 2 gold.
Yep. All right.
All right, and so you have.
I'm a good boy. Okay. Yeah. Robin Hood. I think was kind of the idea that I had for this guy partially.
So the chain of the necklace has a clasp that's broken.
Okay.
Like so you can't actually like wear it.
Does the necklace have red beads on it?
I'm not sure what color they are. I can look it up, but there's like little like pendant clasps.
Yeah.
And 5 of them are empty, and 2 of them have little hanging beads hanging off of it. So there's actually two beads hanging from it, and the rest have probably fallen off in the barrel or something. Give me an Arcana check.
So Kale knows what this is.
You're a bard, so
Arcana, yeah, and that's
Natural
20.
20.
20.
Fireballs.
it's a necklace of fireballs with two
yeah.
beads left on it. Okay, so you can write that down on your treasure.
I now have 2 magic items. Yay me.
Yeah. So it's a necklace of fireballs with two beads. So you get 2 casting of fireball.
I'm not gonna use it. Not anytime soon.
So you can deduce that since it's plopped after the explosion, that it probably fell from above, from whatever it was that it cast the spell.
Okay. Perfect.
You can quiz a few other people, but that's essentially the only clues you got from the people you talked to.
Okay. I think that I don't think Dordre is gonna put on the thing, but I think he will look through the bucket and see if the other remaining beads are in there.
They're not in
No, there's nothing else in the bucket.
Yeah, you can dump the bucket over or whatever. There's nothing else in the. It's not a bucket. It's a giant barrel.
Okay. I think I'm gonna look at the wall by that barrel because the kid said that fell in there, which means that someone threw it. I think he's gonna look and see how close it is to the crime scene.
It appears like it's in roughly the direction where you talked to the boy was away from the woman, so it's probably in the direction from where the person or thing, what'd she call it, a puppet, cast the bead.
Okay.
That made the fireball. So it's kind of like roughly below that. It could have actually fallen down like one of the roofs and like actually like landed because the barrel is collecting rainwater, so it might have even slid down the ice.
Oh, okay, I
and
gotcha.
plopped into the barrel.
I think Dordre is gonna kind of look up and like think that's a little bit suspicious. How close am I to the wayward dice?
Like 2 or 3 houses down the street and across the street.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go back there and start making my way upstairs. And I think
up the stairs in the wayward dice.
Yeah. So I can get up to like that watch area.
Okay, let's hold off for a second. Zach, do you have anything you want to mention right now?
Rue is heading west down that road at a brisk pace. And that's, Satterless is still just kind of overlooking the crowd. At this point, he's just kind of watching Dodore, and every now and then he kind of like makes a telepathic connection to
Dordre.
To Dordore.
To Bard, yeah.
To kind of get the information he needs. And then he's conveying all that information to the remaining.
No, a lot of things for the telepathy you can't actually talk back telepathically, can you?
I can use detect thoughts if I need to.
I think it's one way, but I'm not positive.
I'm pretty sure the telepathy skill is that sense.
Right now it says you can speak telepathically to any creature you see within 30 feet of you. You don't need to share a language with the creature for it to understand your telepathic utterances, but the creature must be able to understand at least one language. So it doesn't say anything about being able to talk back, but...
I'm not sure, yeah. It says you can speak telepathically, because I know whenever mind flayers talk to you, I think that you can talk back usually in your head, but I could be wrong. But I think I'm going to... Dordre's making his way up, and I think Firetusk, I think he's still kind of like investigating. I think he's just now walking around asking people questions, and I think he walks up to, what was the name again, that starts with an F. I think he's going to just be like, hey, Fala. He's going to be like, hey, lady. Hello, lady? Do you see, do you have any information you could tell me? By chance, please.
It will take me a while to clean up the glass and tend to my herbs.
Miss, please. Did you see anything happen? You don't have to re-explain it.
Yeah.
So she explains the exact same thing.
They might mention that they prefer gender neutral pronouns, but
my sincerest
it does feel a little
apologies.
awkward to have modern day social norms read into like a fictional setting, so it's kind of different.
My sincerest apologies.
So
yes.
At this point, the Griffin rider has landed in the street, and people have kind of like spread out to the side. We'll say it's been about 10 minutes since the actual explosion. And so there's the Griffin rider. He's dismounted. People are like staying way far away from the Griffin. Griffins eat people, so this is obviously like a trained war Griffin. So it's presumably under the command of the knight. But there's now 6 watchmen, the sergeant, and like a aerial knight on the ground. And you can kind of hear them over talking that there's actually like a group of them coming along on the way. And they're now asking for anyone who is eyewitness to kind of stay nearby to give testimonies and that sort of thing. Any other comments from your characters before we advance time?
Is there any way Rue could just is there any way that feasibly we could still catch this person?
Possible. Maybe.
Sorry.
Because I mean, all right. So in that case,
Because you've not actually seen anyone, you've only heard of what might have happened.
Because I don't want to say an action and then it just be for nothing kind of thing.
You just want her racing down the alleyways trying to find.
I was actually gonna ask: is there any way she could parkour up to a roof?
Give me an acrobatics check.
Just jump off of a wall, a tight wall.
Yeah, the DC's 20.
21.
Okay, so we'll say she finds a gutter and she's able to actually pull herself up onto one of the roofs. The only thing is they're looking for who did this. You might be viewed as maybe a fleeing attacker. So
you are also an orc.
You might be drawing attention to
half-orc.
yourself as a half-orc assassin.
Can I make a stealth check?
Yeah, go for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
9.
All right, so you're definitely
You get
spotted
plus
climbing up onto the
8?
roof.
You get +8 to that?
Darn. Yeah.
You roll a nat
expertise.
1.
Expertise, yes,
Yeah.
he did.
Okay, so you did find a place to climb up. It's just in full view of the city watch, and so you can see there's a couple of them heading over towards your way. But you're on the roof now.
Yeah. Could she just walk? Because she probably knows that she's been spotted.
Just while you're up here, go ahead and give me a perception roll to see if you see anyone.
Ready thing.
14, 16.
Okay, so you have a good look around, and you honestly don't see anyone fleeing the scene. You can see for many blocks. On a distant place, you see a chimney sweep, kind of sweeping a chimney or something. Mm-hmm. But you don't see any sort of criminals or hooded figures fleeing or anything like that.
Dorger is actually making his way up the top, on top of the Wayward Dice.
Okay, we'll cut to him soon. He's not done that yet.
Okay.
Any other actions on the ground?
I think Luckface is kind of going to look at the Griffin Rider, and I think she's going to approach and say, "Hello,
Backdorf."
Okay. And I think she just walks off.
Okay. Oh my gosh. After about 10 minutes, a large contingent, this will be another 20 or so, watchmen show up. There's also 2 investigators, if you guys would like to see what they look like.
Sure.
Their names are Saith and Barnabas, and you can see them there.
Okay.
You just kind of have a look at them.
To invest.
And they're now interviewing the eyewitnesses and taking notes from the dead and making arrangements for the dead to all be taken for questioning by a cleric.
Down just a bit.
Down, yeah. There you go.
Good. You're good.
You probably get some more light on that.
Yeah,
it's just
the light is behind.
Yeah, I think it's all right. Yeah.
So. All right. So so they're now bringing along a cart, and some of the people are putting the dead into the cart and that sort of thing. So it's been about half an hour. They're going around questioning. I don't know if any of you want to volunteer any information to them, but they're basically asking for eyewitnesses.
Sure.
And just interviewing people.
I think Prince Ottigan, is going to take what he learned from the girl with the name that starts with an F, from the they that starts...
Fala?
Yeah, Fala. I believe that Prince Ottigan is going to say, yes, this kind Samaritan over here has given me some information regarding just as the explosion happened. Which one is he speaking to? The short or the taller
You can speak to
investigator?
whichever. Saith is the tall one, and Barnabas is the shorter, fat
I
one.
think since he's a dwarf, I think he's going to talk to the...
To Barnabas?
Yeah.
talk to
Barnabas.
the shorter one, yes. He's going to approach him and say, hello, yes, I have information, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much says what Fala told him. And he says, this kind Samaritan did this for
He's
me.
kind of marking down some notes in a little book and just kind of playing with his mustache, and he puts the book away.
What have you gathered so far, in your opinion?
I don't normally talk about investigations.
I mean, I did just try and help you to the best of my abilities.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Sure.
DC is going to be 18.
I rolled a 13 plus 2, so 15.
All right. He says, well, We know that someone was being chased. We obviously foul play, but and he kind of just is. He seems just hesitant to give away anymore.
Any insight onto intent by chance?
He finally relents and he just reveals that once they take all the dead to a morgue, they're gonna have some local priests cast speak with dead, and that's generally what they do when there's a murder. And they speak to the dead to kind of try and find out what the motives were.
I think Prince Ottigan hands him a card and says,
I don't think you have any of those on your
no,
character
it's just a
sheet.
playing card.
He has a playing card?
One playing card.
Okay,
He
so...
now has no playing cards.
Okay, go ahead and erase it off your character sheet then.
Okay. I believe that he hands him a playing card and he says, "I found this on a character, on a person." And this is actually just my ironic way for me to come up with a plot twist card.
Will you pass me a Taraka card as well?
Ooh.
Yeah, sure.
Taraka.
Definitely. I guess
Traitor.
I probably shouldn't have flipped it over. I think that I think he hands him an actual playing card, and I feel like that would be like my character's way, quote unquote, of running a plot twist card.
Enough these. This is in a protective sleeve.
Well, you can actually see the plot twist better than the Taraka for sure, because the words on the Taraka are much smaller.
Is that too low?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good height-wise. No, not tilt it. Okay, yeah, you can see it somewhat. Okay, you're good.
So we got a Taraka card that's a traitor, and then a triumph card.
Good. Perfect. Good.
Does the traitor triumph? That's the question.
I believe that.
Someone's been betrayed here because there's a lot of dead people and a lot of innocent bystanders that died, including some halflings, which makes me sad.
Ottigan, he says, I'm with the adventuring company over at Wayward Dice currently, and
over there.
It would just be nice to give me or us some some information. I apologize for my mistake. And yes, if you would rather speak with me, and
he basically says, "Okay, I must continue with the investigation and see these bodies taken care of."
He's
so
such
that
a wordy guy.
So they don't rot, obviously. So, if you want to direct further inquiries to the temple. And he mentions the temple that's a few blocks away. Mm-hmm. That's where they'll be, and you can speak with the clergy.
One last question.
Yes.
Would you like help maintaining the crowd? I could do some crowd control for you.
That won't be necessary. This is what they get paid to do.
Sure.
So you can leave it to us.
I'm also a cleric if you ever need to hire someone. Thank you. And I think he's going to make his way to the church.
He asked for your name one more time. Your name again?
Just call me Fire Tusk.
Okay, so he gives him his nickname instead of his formal title.
Well, I don't think Prince Ottigan. Prince Ottigan.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
I think Fire Tusk is like his adventuring, like...
I think everyone else tells him that, but he wants to be called Prince Ottigan, so he...
so maybe they call him Fire Tusk behind his back.
He's just
Fire Tusk. Okay, I like it. That's a great idea.
Prince Ottigan.
I like that. Okay. Alright, so you got another clue now. So this is like your fourth clue.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That the clergy cast speak with dead on murder victims.
Sure.
And that will be happening at a local
That's super
temple.
smart.
And you can tell by their code of laws that there's lots of murders here, and they take investigating them very seriously.
Gotcha. I'm listening. Yeah.
So, all right. So I think we're gonna wrap up this local scene. Eventually, within an hour, all the bodies have been hauled away by carts to a local temple, which you guys know the location of.
Okay.
The City Watch eventually leave. All the eyewitnesses have been interviewed, names taken down. The Griffin rider takes off, and an hour later, they're just local people, or just they just gossip and talk for
uncharted grounds
for days, if not months, about the assault. People are boarding up. It's wintertime, so they've busted out windows. So people are boarding up windows.
Oh, Dordre. By the way, Dordre went to the rooftops.
All right, so this is kind of what's all happening in this scene. But let's go ahead and cut to Dordre. Comic book time. So he went up to the top of the turret, and he's in the uppermost part of the tower, and he actually has a magnificent view of the city from up here.
What does he see?
The city of Waterdeep. From the rooftop level?
Well, does he see anything suspicious? That's why he went up there to look for
He
things.
probably sees Rue on top of a
rooftop. And also the two guards that we'll cut to your scene. So we'll handle his scene.
Yeah.
The guards obviously aren't going to be able to follow you up here.
Rue.
But we'll come back to Rue in a moment. So you see Rue up there. What's Rue actually doing?
She's looking around and she's kind of
Does she do something that she wouldn't want someone to know? Does she like?
No, she just kind of shrugs
No, okay.
and looks back down. She's like,
Well, the guards are down below, like, come down here, and they're calling after her. You could just go to the other side of the roof and drop down into another city and just disappear.
I think Jordan's gonna be like, "Hey, Rue,
yes, yeah.
hey, I see you.
She's a female half-orc, so it's probably like,
I
what?
I can't do.
I
voices.
can see you down there."
I can do accents. Does she
Okay.
have an accent? I can't do voices.
Something brutal.
German.
Like you've got like a sore throat.
Rue,
German.
Yeah, German works.
do you want me to write a song in honor of you?
9.
No, not the German language.
9? Yeah, I'll make it 9
No,
verses.
It just felt.
Oh,
9
man.
bars or 9 verses or 9 chords.
She's just gonna silently, because she doesn't want to have to say any words in the character voice. Drop off to the other side.
Okay, disappeared in the
It is
crowd.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 bars.
Okay. So go ahead and think about. So we're gonna go ahead and end the scene. So
Okay.
the fireball scene with the dead being hauled off, all the investigating. We'll wrap that scene up. So think about what your characters want to do. It's now late morning. Soon it'll be a lunch hour. We'll say like an hour or two. So think about what your characters want to do. I need a quick break.
Yeah,
Get a little bit more tea.
I guess Zach, you and I
some
can
more.
discuss.
And so we have in the past been taking intermissions. So I think what we're going to do is when we take breaks, we'll probably keep people on camera and engage in the audience. We'll kind of like rotate our breaks instead of all just kind of like wandering off for 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
Or we just
and
mute
it's-
our audio and it
so-
gets really boring.
yeah. Anyway, so and if you want to talk about your Coriolis idea or the Halloween, like if you want to plug a Halloween teaser, that kind of stuff, I'm gonna get another thing of tea.
I was thinking about actually slightly discussing what
Politics and
characters will be
religion.
doing during the time that we're taking our break. Nathan, how far in the future are we moving from this break?
I'll let you guys decide. We can immediately pick up, or we can skip to the next day and you don't do anything. I don't care.
I would assume our next, like at least this little interaction between our characters would be mostly just the characters discussing what information they discovered. That kind of thing.
So I actually think that I like started to pull out my beads of fireball, and then I kind of like put them back in my pocket slowly because I'm afraid that that telling people who I hardly know can definitely lead to bad things. So I think the Dordre kind of like disregards that, but then I think that Prince Ottigan comes back in holding Lunza's hand, not dragging her like a toddler, but like a couple in
Romantically.
love. Yes, except that she's deformed and ugly, and I guess he's a little bit above average. I mean, he's pretty built.
He's a dwarf, so he's kind of like
he's somewhat attractive for a dwarf.
yeah, you know whenever you're watching SpongeBob and that big ship horn comes on, whenever they go into like a
No, but that's okay.
somebody's got to know exactly what I'm talking about.
Somebody.
I don't know.
I think they both have back in there, and I think Prince Ottigan, he kind of flaunts all the stuff that he found out. He's all like, yes, I found everything that we needed to know. Like he's like, I went back to I headed to the clergy, and then I thought, no, I'd turn around because narrative convenience. And he came back and sat down and sat in the labor dice just to talk to you guys. No, I'm kidding. He
Rue
left.
lightly slaps him beside the head and is like, we didn't figure out anything other than they went one direction.
In fact, I think he says, yeah, I think you're right. And I think he actually just leaves for the clergy right away. In fact, whenever Nathan comes back, he'll just be gone because of that. I think George Ray, though, I think he'll sit down and he'll pretty much talk about most of the information that he found out, with the exception of the bead of fireball. Like, he doesn't share that.
All right.
But he does kind of, talk about stuff.
Satterless is just sitting at the table. Like I'm assuming they're all in the Wayward Dice, sitting at a round table.
Yeah.
So they're all sitting at a table.
Enjoying a drink.
And Satterless is just standing at the side of the table, staring quite awkwardly at Dodre.
Hello?
At which point, Mouther comes down, sits down.
Yeah.
He's been actually almost completely ignored this whole session.
He's just kind of just sitting down, like, reading his spell book. In fact, he was just in the Wayward Dice the entire time.
He's just been helping people out. I don't think he actually has any healing spells. So
But he's just been trying to be nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
literally, Dordre did so much, and I'm sorry for having that.
How dare you? No, you didn't hog any attention.
He
But-
healed people, talked to people, and then ran up like 3 flights of stairs just to look out and yell at Rue.
He's a.
Do you guys
he's
want
a
some
good
Earl
guy.
Grey, or do you want like to switch to green tea?
Let's go with
I'm fine with either.
green tea.
So yeah, but Malthus, he's just kind of been, he's been out of the way, kind of helping with people.
Mhm.
So he sits down. He's like, okay, so what all did we find out?
Well, let me.
All right, good work. He
No, I actually have things to say. I apologize.
now he moves on to Sad or Less. It's like,
No.
so what did we find out? And Sad just kind of looks at him.
May I interject real quick?
And
Yes.
back. Yeah, Nathan, what's up?
I just want to plant a seed because Malthur is from the city, right?
Yeah.
So Malthur, hearing talk of the puppets, remembers like there's kind of like during some of the parade days that the clerics have gone to the Temple of Wonders. They basically put on these like shows, and they have these like automaton, like puppet like constructions that they make there. And the description from the woman actually reminded him of that. And
They
he
probably
like,
have
has like a
gnomes to it,
mental
I'd
note
say.
that he might want to check in with the Gond. Gond is the god of like creations, like mechanical, like not like robots, but like that kind of like inventions and stuff.
Yeah.
So
And
whenever
they
you
has a
worship
large
Henry
temple,
Ford.
so you could actually inquire there.
Oh, I was also going to say, so Prince Ottigan, he is headed to one of the clergy places, by the way.
Okay.
He was headed to the one that he assumed that was being referenced by the
Yeah, he
investigator.
gave him the name of it.
Yeah,
Okay,
and-
perfect,
And
yeah.
Malthus says everything that Nathan just did to the party after looking at Sad for like 3 seconds and
Oh,
no
it's like an
conversation being
automaton, and the puppet would be on top of the roof, right?
made. Yes.
Okay. I think Dordre says like, I guess that makes sense. It could have just jumped. I guess that makes sense. It could have just jumped from the roof and not died as a creature.
Malthus slams the table angrily and says, "Wow, you have a unique character voice. You're trying too hard. I'll have you know." And then we're gonna avoid that. That never actually happened.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Zach.
But
Thank you, Zach. Zach, thank you.
Is there a case of water down there?
there should be, yeah.
Zach, you're looking at it as you say there should be.
The whole thing. Okay. As I hand you the whole thing without even asking to begin with.
I believe that I think that I look over at sorry. I think Dordre, I think he says
You
so there was something on the roof. And
And it was a puppet.
yeah, so a puppet on the roof. Someone ran away, and I think he kind of slips down from early thinking. He says, and it was dropped. There's something missing here. The problem is why and who was the target? I mean, someone did say that they stole it off the gnome, but we never saw the gnome's face. Nathan, did we see the gnome's face?
The dead gnome?
Yeah, the one with the dagger in his hand.
I mean, half of it was gone.
Half of it was blown off. You saw half of his face.
Okay. Could we recognize it at all? Was it recognizable? Like, I think back in my mind, like, have I ever seen him?
I don't think anybody recognized this now.
No. Okay.
Was he actually wearing an amulet of the Lord of Snails?
Nope, definitely not.
Ah.
Dear. He definitely should be a target. He's going to rule the world someday, and if you don't want to be under a total and complete dictatorship, you definitely want to kill him early.
It's a dictatorship only in name. Like, he goes around saying, "Yes, I'm the dictator of this land," but then he doesn't actually do anything.
No, but then he really is.
So many inside jokes.
I believe that. I
Good
believe
for
that
viewers.
Dordre never knew Glib. I don't actually know who Dordre knew. I think he knew Carice.
Yeah, he knew Carice, which is
I
going to
think,
be a
I
good
think that's
tie in
it,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But pretty much, he kind of.
I think Carice knew Glib.
I think Carice did too. But he, Dordre, he kind of like begins just sort of, like just kind of trying to piece together. So basically, a puppet on top of a roof. It dropped a bead of fireball, and then it dropped the entire necklace.
And the clasp is broken, so it might have actually broken off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So basically, like, instead of dropping it, it could have just been snapped off by any kind of means. And then there was definitely a target. Someone ran in, was injured by the fireball somewhat, stole something from the gnome. I think he concludes. I think he basically says, and this is just like a couple minutes after the explosion. After things have like started to kind of clear up. I think he says, I really think that we should go to the bow shop that Fala was telling us about. In fact, I think Dordre stands up at that and he says, in fact, I'm leaving right now. And he starts to walk toward the bow shop place.
My half of the party all kind of looks at each other, going like back and forth.
Like, man, it's ironic that all three of us go everywhere together.
Yeah, I guess we should follow him.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So, who are you following?
Dordre to the bow shop that Fala referenced that the figure ran to. I think Dordre's going to go and try and find out more information.
Speaking of who we're following, what's Dordre's charisma?
16 currently.
Just as always.
What?
I'll beat you in the charisma game again.
Probably not.
That's what Kariz did, and that's what Sad's gonna do.
Yeah. Also, I was running out basic stats, and I have two 16s instead of an 18 and a 16, which I could have done easily.
I have a 19.
Sorry. I could have taken a feat instead of something and been like, you're
Anyway,
always better.
On to the actual conversation.
Yeah,
plot,
sure.
the game itself.
So yeah, Nathan, I think we're making our way to the bow shop.
I,
The Fletcher?
They basically don't have anything much else to contribute, but what kind of questions? Just kind of tell me what you're kind of looking for.
Yeah.
And that might prompt me to...
I'm an investigator. I'm on the way on behalf of the Waterdeep Press, and I would like to ask you a couple questions. And he actually does have his hat on with a feather this time. And he says, so after the explosion, did you get an increase in customers?
No.
Did anyone buy any kind of weaponry?
We haven't had any customers all morning.
Have you... Okay. Did you see by chance anyone running away, possibly human, with a limping, but it was mainly before the huge crowds arrived? Or right around the time, did you see any specific limping figures?
Yeah, now that you mention it, somebody did flee around the corner of the shop, so...
Okay, yeah.
This is your guys' place?
Yeah.
Where the rain barrel was with the boy was at the base of this building here.
Okay.
And she said she saw the puppet flee this way.
Alright.
And also the man they're talking about fled around like this horseshoe on the way out of the alley.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, I saw him kind of running around, and he was limping and looking around, so he's kind of describing what he saw.
Yeah.
The fireball actually splashed, like right in this whole area right here, across from you. There's your porch that you guys were on. It was directly across the alley from you guys.
All right.
Yeah, I think Dordre, he's going to say, thank you very, very much. And I think he's going to kind of walk out and go and start heading down the alleyway, looking around for, like, possible signs of, like, maybe, like, someone, like, scraping against a wall.
I think we've done all the investigation rolls already, so I'd say at this point, let me think what the leads are. The leads are the temple for Gond with the puppet, the temple where the clerics are going to speak with dead eventually. Also, as far as the bent nail goes, you basically know this is the way he fled. So if you want to kind of go on out and go around the building and check, there's just like hundreds of people and like just traffic. Like it's a full city day now, like on like one of the main thoroughfares.
That's kind of like,
it's been over an hour, so like whoever it was is long gone.
I think Dordre is gonna kind of like sit back, and one of you guys talked to one of the investigators, right?
I don't think so, no.
Why do I have the inspiration die?
Because I gave it to you for the plot twist card.
See, I don't think I had that.
I believe that the Dordre is going to just think and kind of sit back. And I think he says, "Has anyone seen Prince Ottigan or Luckface anywhere?"
The whole crew here, Malther, Rue, and Sad collectively shrug.
I think he says.
Where are you guys going?
Where am I going?
We don't know about the temple. None of us do.
Malther is the one that had the idea. Well, not to speak with dead, but there's two temples. There's the one that's being used as a morgue for the dead, and there's another temple to Gond. And actually, I said it was a House of Wonders. That's in Baldur's Gate. The one in Waterdeep, they have temples in all the major cities. So the one in Waterdeep is called the House of Inspired Hands.
Gotcha. Now, but the thing is none of our characters talked to someone who talked about that, did we?
Mouther is the one that had the idea.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, that's Malthor's going to suggest, hey, let's go there.
So we have 4 of them going to the House of Inspired
House
Hands, and then the 2 dwarves go to the...
yep, they're headed
him.
off to, yeah.
Alright, let's switch scenes to the 2 dwarves.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to play
like to run Luckface? Yeah, okay,
Sure.
Perfect. Here you go. Yeah, I think it's much better. Play her however you want. Honestly, I don't care. She's just bad at charisma, but she's not actually that stupid. She has a 9,
She can at least talk.
Yeah, well, but
1-syllable words.
No, Nathan. 2-syllable words. She has a 9, not an 8.
Her name is Luckface.
She struggles to put together sentences. Right?
And her name is Luckface. So
she's been
Luckface.
tortured.
So like
she's
Cariza's
not
speech
right.
all over again.
I believe
She
that
does actually have brain damage.
Prince
from the
Ottigan?
torture.
Oh my beautiful princess.
Blah.
Let us continue voyaging through this lovely city of despair.
Blah.
So how are you on this fine day? I wink. Or Prince Ottigan winks. I guess Kale also winks. But
Are you making small talk on the way to the temple?
yes.
Awesome.
Prince Ottigan knows how to treat a lady.
Mm-hmm. Dwarf love.
I mean, he's still very in love with her. He's still very in love with her.
Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying watching the 2 of you flirt.
Luckface. We're gonna see how competent for this part. Yeah, she's fine. So she kind of like. What was the question? How is she doing today?
Oh my dear, how are you doing this lovely
And
day?
I think she gets hit on
Miss
quite a bit
Joyce
by
in
him. Like
despair?
she's kind of got used to him doing it, but she has no idea why he would bother, and so she kind of just completely blows him off cold shoulder, generally speaking. But you take it how you want. So
Good.
I think he pulls out this holy pendant and he says, "Oh, I know I gave you one a week ago, but I have made you another necklace." And I think he puts it around your neck, and this is a point where you have like 7 necklaces right now.
she's in a suit of Battle Rager armor, which is like basically like partial plates
Oh, wait,
with like
hang on,
spikes
hang on,
everywhere.
So the spikes, they have like little tiny like
Little
pendants
lockets.
that I put on there. So I put on another one.
You kind of like pause at it. It doesn't actually fall off.
All right,
I love
Okay.
this so much.
we'll give you a holy day. The gods are with you, not with her, but with you. She's lucky to be alive, maybe unlucky to be alive.
Luck.
All right, so you guys make your way to the nearby temple. Right, inside, you're kind of stopped at the door, and one of the acolytes says, "We're not currently taking in worshippers or supplicants because there has been an attack in the city, and we're currently dealing with a situation with the City Watch."
Yes, I understand. I was sent by Barnabas.
Attack.
Barnabas sent you.
Yes. He told me to come here and speak. I'm a cleric. A cleric of the god.
Morden.
Oh, you think Moradin would just be the... I mean, like, I was
He's
sure
the
if it was
main-
actually Moradin or different. I'm a cleric of the
We
god
can
Moradin.
pick a different
Yeah,
one.
I think it would probably be cooler to pick a different one. I have a player's
Well-
handbook right here.
Well, it's not in there.
Yeah, okay.
Like, what style of dwarf god are you interested in serving?
He is war domain, but I don't exactly know if that fits him as a prince.
You could be Clangadin. He's like a war god. He is like usually he has like 2 crossed axes, and so he's kind of like he's like the
I guess
dwarven
he's
god
a
of war.
dwarf. Yeah, okay, so Clangadin.
Clangadin.
I'm a cleric of the god Clangadin. And I was sent here by Barnabas. I tried to help give him tips, and he said I could tell you guys as well, and I might be able to, if possible, sit in on
Give me a
the
persuasion check.
conversation. Sure.
DC's 12.
Sure. I rolled a 15
Okay.
plus 2, so
Right.
17.
He's like, well, if Barnabas sent you, and he's just some scrub, since
Yeah.
you're name dropping, and you look like you're all dressed.
Yeah.
He just kind of like, okay.
They have like tusks.
He doesn't
sticking out
want to
there.
get like. Well,
Fine.
he's already gonna get in trouble for this. He's trying not to get in trouble, and he just immediately gets in trouble. So
Yeah, sure.
so you enter into the temple, and you can see that there's like just people like milling about, like arranging the dead, and And there's already, like, actually on a table, there's already a cleric engaged in the Speak with Dead ceremony already, and their backs are all kind of to you. So even though, like, he's let you in, you can kind of just stay off to the back and just eavesdrop if you want.
I think that I link arms with Luckface. And
She kind of like squeezes your arm.
I link arms and then I hold your hand.
You guys are both fully armored. Like, you have on almost full plate armor.
I actually, from a dwarf's position at least, I'd say, what would be even more attractive is just like pressing my shoulder, and like trying to like,
She's
like create like an equilibrium of force betwixt both of us.
I regret making dwarven lovers.
She's going to push you off and away.
No, you're in love with me.
I think the spike does that for you.
The spike does that for me.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I kind of bump into her.
Take 1 point. Well, no, you have armor. So the spikes glance off your armor. Right. But if you continue these sort of methods, you're going to draw attention to yourselves.
For real. I believe that I'm gonna just kind of like sit down in the back, and listen, or not sit. Stand in the back and listen.
Okay, you're just going to stand behind one of the pillars or something in the temple and just kind of listen to the ceremony.
Yeah, I'm kind of hiding, but not really.
So they're speaking with different corpses.
Okay.
They've kind of started with the halflings. It appears they've already talked with 3 of them. So
which one haven't they talked to? Finn, Felicia, Fusa, or Forbon?
I'm pretty sure it was Fusa is the one they're talking to now.
Who's the one they're talking to
now? Fusa. Okay. She's dead. Fusa.
Alright.
I've never roleplayed a dead halfling like this before.
But you have
like
before,
this.
but not like this.
Where's my fiddle?
The fiddle? They have the fiddle, the flute, and then...
Did you see who attacked you? No.
Well, you're worthless, Spike.
Flames.
Just flames?
Yeah. So they kind of go through and interview some of the other ones. And then eventually they, after maybe like 20 minutes, a different cleric takes over and begins speaking with the gnome.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys remember this is the gnome that had
the gnome who had the dagger and who someone stole something from. That's me. Who someone stole something from.
All right. They question, what is your name? And the gnome says, Dalakar.
I think that the Prince Ogden is actually like taking notes, but definitely with like something that's definitely like you would never use for notes, but he's using for notes. What's a good example?
He's using a magic marker on a shelf.
Does he have a +1 magic marker, Nathan? He is a prince.
Somebody else. I mean, it's whoever has it.
That was Jurassic.
Jurassic has the magic marker +1.
Ah, darn.
He's using a +2 magic marker.
Yeah,
he's rich.
I'm using my. Great idea. No, I am taking notes just like pen. I'm writing.
Just get some parchment. And
ink and quill.
Luckface is actually gonna like visibly wince when she hears the like harshness of the gnome's voice.
Is she acting out at all?
She's just sitting there quietly.
Well, I'm saying, okay, so she's not like making herself known on accident. Right?
They say.
Thinking. They say.
They say
I'm thinking about which way I went. There's like a huge list of stuff here.
Yeah,
so I want it to make sense because it doesn't necessarily follow.
For sure.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, so they ask if he saw who killed him. He says, I was being chased, but I did not see my killer. And they say, who do you work for? He says, I work for the Open Lord. And there's like kind of like some gasps, like, oh wait, and like so like the audience is kind of like reacting to that statement because that's a pretty bold claim that he works for the Open Lord. All of the lords of Waterdeep are masked, so no one knows their identity.
Except for that one.
But there's one Open Lord, and she is the current Open Lord, and he says, Lord Neverember. And they're like, oh, because that's like kind of scandalous because he was replaced when he moved to Neverwinter He was replaced by the current Open Lord, who's a female. So he says he serves the prior Open Lord, basically. He doesn't clarify this, but everyone in Waterdeep knows who the Open Lord is. It's like saying, like, you don't know who Trump is. Everyone knows who the Open Lord is.
I think that Prince Ottigan thinks to himself, would it make sense for him to think about the Stone of Golor in relation to this event?
Sorry?
Would it make narrative sense for him to think about the Stone of Golor in relation to this event? Do we know what it is? I think that it's been brought up, right?
I mean, Luckface is gonna like.
Well, we just talked about it earlier.
Yes, I know. I'm saying to the characters.
In the Wayward Dice, they may have been talking about. I think there was lots of discussion about the Dragon Horde, and so I think this has come up in conversation in the Wayward Dice over the last 10 days. He's probably familiar that there's a Stone of Golor.
So he didn't say why he was being chased.
Luckface is gonna kind of. Like,
I'm not done.
Oh, okay.
We're only on question 3.
I was gonna say that Prince Ottigan would probably like interrupt and say, "Why were you being chased?"
He's gonna interrupt the thing and get tossed out of the temple.
He evaluates the possibilities of what could happen, and what are the chances they'll get tossed out of the temple, in his opinion?
Because you're currently eavesdropping on a place you're not supposed to be at.
I mean, he does have Barnabas's permission.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Barnabas didn't give him permission.
Oh.
I mean, you could attempt a deception check
I
if
did
you're
bluff my
confronted.
way through. I think he looks over Luckface and says, What do you say, hon? Do you think that we should talk to them?"
So you're gonna talk out loud.
What do you say, hon?
I'm just trying to like understand what you're doing here.
Could actually, not could. I don't know what I was gonna say. Luckface is actually gonna like kind of lightly elbow him and say, "Goal, stone, rock, lord."
Hun, let's play. Okay, we can have fun charades later on tonight, but not right now. Okay. I think he kind of tries to hold her hand, but then realizes it's super hard in armor, and he's constantly always trying to hold her hand, but like.
And she's patting her
Yeah,
away.
yeah, she's like wearing armor.
So while you guys are doing all this,
Yeah,
they're continuing the
that's-
questioning. Literally, I've selected only like the question and answers that don't involve the Stone of Golor, so that's definitely the remainder of the conversation here. They ask, "What were you doing for the Open Lord?" And he said, "I stole a Stone of Golor for him from the Xanathar, deep below Waterdeep."
Okay.
Goal rock.
Xanathar.
And they say, "What is the Stone of Golor?" And he says, "The key. The key to finding the dragons that are hidden." And said, "What did you do with the stone?" "I was taking it to adventurers that rescued the Lord's son from the Zentarim. They would keep it safe."
That's us.
And then the clerics are talking to themselves like, check his body, and he's kind of like naked with like a sheet on him. So they're like going through his belongings, and they're like, "There's no stone on his body or whatever." And you can hear Barnabas saying, "Yes, somebody saw that his clothing was rifled through after he was killed."
Wait, Barnabas is here?
Yeah, I said that at the beginning.
My old buddy, pal, he's here.
You had to fill me up.
See,
Barnabas, the man,
the myth,
the legend. Sorry, Nathan, you should have said it, but you didn't. Prince Ottigan, I think he's actually tempted to walk up to Barnabas and like nudge him and be like, "Hey, so I found out some information."
What are you doing here? You shouldn't be in here.
Well, as Kale, I didn't actually mean to approach him like this.
Too bad you done it anyway.
But I did it. Oh, whoops! Impulses.
Look, if you're not going to Luckface,
I'm saying all this. Whoops!
Alright, what does Luckface say?
Luckface, if he's not going to do it in character, Luckface
No, he did.
will.
We're just going with
I
it.
did that.
Yeah, Luckface is staying behind them.
Is Luckface gonna? Oh, she okay. Yes. So, I guess they were trying to deliver the Stone of Golor to us because, by the way, us at the Wayward Dice were the ones that saved the dwarven man. What was
It
his
was
name again?
Neverember. They're not
Neverember.
dwarven.
We saved
They're human.
Neverember.
Yeah.
His son, that is. And
Raynar.
Yes, the city guard took him.
I think Luck
He's like,
Face
yes,
would
I'm
be
aware of this. He's
better
back at his residence.
Yes, but
conversation, yeah.
So you think
he's in his
connected?
residence?
Yeah,
You
yeah. He's
said.
not in prison. He's like
Well,
the
of course,
the
no,
former
of
open
I
lord's
mean,
son.
of course,
he has
yes.
clout here.
We were unsure of his location, or we would have talked.
No, I'm sure he's back safe at home. Well, and then he just kind of mentions, he's like, dispatch 2 men to go and check and make sure that he's not been attacked.
Where does he live?
He's somewhere in the Castle Ward district. So you'd have to go and try and find him.
Is there a way you could get me access to talk to him?
Well, I'm sure you could just go to his house and call on him.
Oh yes, I'll just grab a cell phone and dial his number.
No, to call on a person is like a figure of speech from like the old days.
Yeah, but we're in the 21st century.
Fantasy phones. Of course.
Sorry.
You can send him a paper bird email.
I guess those do exist.
Yeah, you got one as loot from like 4
I
weeks
mean,
ago.
Prince Ottigan gets them all the time from home.
Paper mache
They're always
cell
really
phones.
weird, so he can keep in contact with his family.
And we're approaching the end of the stream.
I believe the Prince Ottigan, he says, yes. Is there anything else we can ask this gnome?
Yeah, what do you want to ask him? Okay, so basically he says, well, you're not supposed to be here. This is an official investigation.
I feel like I've given you information, and at least I can ask one question to this before there's no other chance.
Perhaps. What's your question?
My question is, who was chasing him?
Okay. So he go ahead and nods, and the clerk says, who is chasing you? And he says, I was being chased by 3 Zentarim. I had eluded them, and then I saw it. The flash. And all went dark.
Can I ask him one more question?
Give me a persuasion check, because I'm not sure if he's...
Not 1 plus
No.
2?
Could I?
No, you must leave now.
Plot
No,
twist.
could
Can I
Luck-
run a plot
no,
twist
hold
since I rolled an
Hold
L1?
on. Could Luck Face?
My
actually-
plot twist is plot twist.
Uh-huh.
Can I please?
So this is a skull. Prince Ottigan dies.
No, Nathan. No, Nathan. No, you don't get it. My question was, what is death like? So that's what I was gonna ask. What is death like?
The
Right.
plot twist is you
Since-
to experience it for yourself.
What's it like to be dead? Is what my
Have you no respect for the dead? The cleric says to you. But Prince Ottigan asks, like, are you mocking me from the living?
Are you mocking me from the living?
Actually, could Luck
From
Face...
death I curse thee. And he's like, kind of like, because it's like a diatribe. There.
He draws his weapon.
Alright, and at that point, the guards kind of like ushering you guys out, and like you guys are like kind of like ushered out of the building.
Hang on. Prince Ottigan. What is his weapon? Oh, he has a warhammer. I think he's just gonna kind of like be like, "Don't touch me. I'm."
You're gonna walk
and
yourself
do
out.
not touch her. I will swing on you if you touch her.
She could beat you to a pulp
yeah,
with her
but-
bare
Oh, she could. Yes.
Fair enough, dwarf. Just leave. You're not to be here anymore. And you heard the man. Get out of here. And they're kind of like ushering you out, but they're like they're keeping like this kind of a distance. They're like,
Luckface
all right,
is-
come on. And they're not like drawing weapons or anything, but they've kind of got like a human wall. Sort
I
of.
appreciate
Luck
the
Face is
courtesy.
definitely leaving already before
Okay,
he's out
so
there.
these guys are going to go back to Whaler Dice, and we're going to cut scene back to the others because we're about out of time, so we got
Yeah.
about 5 minutes left. So we're going to cut to...
I guess
you guys have approached the House of Inspired Hands after about a 45-minute walk across town to this is down on the Sea Ward, so this is not the dock district, but this is kind of like down where like the it's on the other side of town. Okay, so you took some main streets, but you guys are definitely approaching this kind of like famous place where like lots of wonderful artifacts and those sorts of things are used. They have parades and stuff and like displays of like cool like inventions. Lots of gnomes like to come here and like display things or see the displays. Did you want to say something? Look like you're getting ready to say something. All right.
No, I was just smiling to be good for the viewers.
Okay. Great job.
Thank you, Zach.
All right. So as you approach the House of Inspired Hands, it looks like a cross between a temple and a workshop. The symbol of Gond is a toothed cog with 4 spokes. That's kind of like a gear. It's displayed prominently on the outside of the temple. As you approach, you see the silhouette of a humanoid shape perching on the rooftop. It extends an arm and releases a tiny metal sparrow into the sky. The bird does a few loops in the air and then veers right towards you guys.
While this is all going on, Malthor doesn't really notice the bird, so he makes like this grand gesture to the group and goes, This
is
This, Kale,
Okay. Roll
is
in-
the Temple of Gong.
Yeah. And you see this bird kind of like flashing
Nice.
towards you. Go ahead and roll initiative for the party.
Oh, sure. Zach, you said it. You do it.
Right, I got a 10.
I got a
6. Okay.
Could I use 10
You
with a
usually
plus
don't use
four?
No, we're just rolling party initiative.
Oh.
So, rather than roll initiative for each member of the party, when we do party initiative, one person rolls for the party, I roll for the opposition, and we just do a flat roll on the higher number.
Yeah, but I was just trying to,
This is just to see if the bird hits. So, let's take the names of the characters. You've got
Dordre.
Dordre, that's 1.
Malthor,
Is
Rue,
2.
and Sad.
Okay. It hits.
Oh,
Alright,
Dordre.
Dordre. Alright,
Does it hit, or does it just attack Dordre?
no, you get struck by it. It does 2 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Okay.
Dordre, he...
Right. It's a little metal bird, and so it kind of like pierces you with its beak, and then it kind of like crumples and it's broken, and it falls to the ground, and like one of the rings like completely bends like backwards. And then after you kind of like are watching like oh, you like take the wound like a little pinprick basically.
Yeah.
And the figure up at the top of the thing withdraws further into the roof, or like out of sight where you can't see, but that was at the top of the roof.
Malthor makes another grand gesture and says, "We should probably be careful here. They don't like us."
I have a question. So
You're still outside in the street near the entrance to the temple.
how far away was this person or this figure that threw that out?
At the top of the temple,
Very top.
Okay, the
It's
top of
a
the
pretty
temple. How high up is that?
about 3 stories,
Alright.
40 or 50 feet.
Is it accessible in some way to get up there in a matter?
Probably from the roof.
Could Rue
Thank you.
parkour all the stories?
That's kind of my question. Can I do that as
conceivably.
Dordre? Do I see some way that I could like basically like run up the building in a sense?
Rue and Dordre parkouring this together, assisting each other.
Dordre.
Dordre.
Just an amalgamation of word and in body.
And what about the other two? Sad and Malthor?
Those are yours.
I think Malthor actually has levitate. Yeah.
He just floats
I
his
don't
way
think
up.
you can fly though. It's levitate. Just you
30
hover.
feet
You
in
hover
air.
off the ground.
Yeah,
Up to 30
I think
feet,
it's
I
like you
believe.
hover.
Yeah, but it's higher than that.
But you can do.
Oh wait, you
I'm
can
actually
pick up
looking
one
at
of
it.
us and throw us up in the air with your levitate. Like you just momentum us up in the air.
I think you can actually like raise how high they're going.
Okay, so
every
you
now
guys
and then.
going to try and attempt to go to the top of the temple from
Yes,
outside?
yes, we're gonna try catching them.
As soon as you start doing this sort of thing, a dragonborn priest comes out from the temple and says, "What are you doing? Have you no honor for Gond?"
I'm still just doing it.
Doing what?
I'm still just parkouring. I don't answer. I'm busy parkouring.
She's like, "Get down, or you'll face the wrath of Gond."
I'm
And like
busy
other
parkouring.
like, yeah. Alright.
At least
So-
for me, I don't know what Rue does. for that.
Rue is also parkouring, ignoring them completely. She doesn't really care. She's faced gods before. She's
Right.
fine. Malthor, on the other hand, kind of like gestures for them to come down, but they're not even looking. He's like, "We're not with them."
Okay. All right, and that seems like a good cliffhanger ending
Alright.
for our session. So, two characters about to be attacked, so that means we'll have to just pause here and save the death for next week. I feel sad, but
Sad.
anyways, yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
All right, so we're outside the House of Inspired Hands, investigating the puppet. Dordre was attacked when they got within sight of the temple and the figure on the roof of the temple there. The priest is confronting you guys, and that's where we'll end for today. Our next episode will be Halloween on Wednesday night. It'll be a special session. We normally play on weekends.
Be there.
So probably be like an hour and a half. Probably not too long. 'Cause, we all have work or school the next day.
Be there or
I
be.
guess you don't have work or school the next day, do you?
Be there or you're not fair.
Thursday?
Thursday.
I guess you're off.
I have absolutely no idea,
right.
honestly.
Well, I'll be working all day and you have school, right?
Well, awesome.
And then next week, will we be meeting here or will it be a remote?
Maybe remote. I think Saturday will probably be remote, while Friday will be.
We're still planning on
I'm
playing
not
on
for sure.
next weekend, so
Yes,
we'll have a better update
sure.
for Halloween. We still haven't done any sort of technical testing.
But we will, and we shall soon, very soon.
All right. So our format may switch from a view of our gaming table to a digital tabletop where we're all in little boxes.
Oddly enough, it's almost more standard at this time to not meet in person because it's more convenient to be far away.
Yeah, because you're moving.
Yep.
So.
But physical
Yay.
dice, it's better.
Yeah. And we might try using Roll20 or something for some visuals instead of me holding up things. So we'll see how that goes. There's just a lot of technical things. It will shift the stream to a digital format, which we're currently not using. So,
I mean, the stream
Which
itself is a
arguably could
digital
almost
format.
even. Which arguably.
I mean our game.
Make it
It'll
more
switch our
accessible.
game to a
Yeah.
digital format.
I just wanted to be nuancey like that.
Perfect. Well, I guess
Final thoughts?
recaps.
You do a
Yeah,
debrief?
final thoughts. Yeah, sure.
Debrief.
How about Kale and Zach and then me?
Sure.
All right. I really like the crime scene kind of feeling of it, trying to pick up every last bit of information. I'm sure there is something that we didn't get, or at least a couple things we didn't get, which I absolutely love. I love the idea that there's still mystery lying around, but we can still find our way, hopefully. And also, I really enjoyed the roleplay that we have here.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was very, very fun, and it was also somewhat whimsical sometimes.
I need to work on my character voices.
Oh man, we didn't really have much combat.
It felt very satisfying to do this tonight, though, and we had almost no combat.
Yeah.
The only
we
combat
literally
we had was the bird.
a bird died touching me. That's what happened. That's our combat.
It's like a bee. Like a metal bee.
Oh yeah, I guess the little metal bird died. So
All right, I guess Zach. Any thoughts? Those are my thoughts.
I definitely need to work on my voices so I can actually differentiate between characters. That would really help.
it will be hard playing a large group of PCs.
Using
Probably what you should do is just pick one that's kind of like your main person.
Oh, that's my boy.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you can switch between them. It is hard to role play heavily. I think specific PCs when you're playing more than one.
Oh, yeah.
So
I try to do that.
and we're also definitely in like a role play kind of like scenario right now, and because it is kind of like a crime scene investigation sort of thing, or investigating what's going on.
So
Which we had established this as like a dungeon crawling type of thing, but anyways, that's coming soon.
Yeah, definitely. Like put it to the border.
we're
That
not
says
good
that.
at promises.
Coming soon to a stream near you.
Yeah, I think the third weekend in November we'll have our first Undermountain game.
All right.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Let's see. I've never really run this type of like a. I guess I've had some like murder scenes, but usually I'm pretty heavily involved with either exploration or wilderness or dungeon stuff. I don't do a lot of these types of like city investigations. I don't actually care for it. It's pretty cool though. I like all the
Did
details.
you like this one?
Yeah, it's cool. So preparing for it, I was fairly bored, but actually running it was really fun.
Sweet.
So, and actually now that I kind of have like a cliffhanger ending, I'll be able to fully prepare for next time. So it'll be a little bit more enjoyable to kind of have some conflict. I'll kind of work out some details to pick up with for next time.
All right. Awesome.
I also kind of enjoy the team dynamic in that there is effectively none. We have
The prince and his wife?
The prince and his wife who just go off and do their own thing.
They never did get married.
Yeah.
Oh, they never did get married?
Yeah, prince
Oh,
and
that's
ex-fiancé.
that is definitely his life goal. Is to get her to marry him or just to get married in general?
To her.
Yeah, well, specifically to her.
They're
yes.
probably like in their 300s now.
Yeah.
I mean, they love each other, but
He loves her. She doesn't even remember him.
Oh yeah, I forget that.
Yeah, her mind was like she was tortured. She's lost her like memories from her youth.
Actually, I think that's her goal. I think that's his goal is either to make her love him again, or for her to like get her memories back, which could happen theoretically.
Through an act of God, one of the gods.
Oh, not greater restoration
No, it'd be something greater.
or wish.
Be greater
Probably.
than greater.
So
A wish
basically,
granted by a
literally
dwarf god, maybe.
All right.
A dwarf god. That just sounds
I think literally every single night, I think he prays to his god to like help him through his hard times, and get her to do that.
nice.
Amen. Thanks for checking in. See you guys.
Thank you guys.
Halloween, we'll be back with
All
some
right.
scary games.
You ready for some spooping?
Farewell.